Hello guys, this is Levi and today talking about instinct, different topics which I don't hear discussed oftentimes in anywhere. So these include imagination, spirituality, and how to practically apply higher wisdom and knowledge to the world that could transcend some of these social norms we don't like collectively, and kind of like build a theory of how we can see things that we often see as inherent parts of humanity and existence as kind of able to be overcome with only the power of the mind and heart. So and action. So why is the collective so interested in violence in ways that are really mild? But let me give you an example. We like Star Wars, we watch entertainment. It's really the baseline how we view our species. It's a reflection in many ways. We root for the good guys, but we don't kind of look the metaphysical or spiritual philosophical implications. What makes us even like such fantasy? If you would explain to alien species that we sit on a couch and we watch this fantasy series where we are being ruled by evil empire, and it's kind of funny the disconnection that happens in the brain with fantasy and real world. There is the desire to enjoy kind of darkness and thrill of things in fantasy, but in real world all of us want to live a comfortable life and retreat and shy our eyes away from the real world version of the things we see in the fantasy that we enjoy so much. So it's interesting parallel of the human psyche, how it separates things based on the given input it gives to their body and feeling. This is where a real great power lies, how humanity can go forward, is understanding that actually the gap between imagination and fantasy and real world is not that large, in a sense that there is no natural law that states collective couldn't adopt different framework towards existence where no evil empires would be enjoyed. But as long as people kind of get satisfaction from the things they don't like in real world, as long as human condition is to be passive and skeptical of anything better. And some may question, isn't this too large thread to connect? And my answer is that no, because the sign of high intelligence as human species collectively is exactly this, transcending issues like this. If we just are like oh, it always has been like this, we are finding excuses. Intelligence is all about adaptation and finding new pathways, not trying to reason backwards of how things are stagnated to be. This is why drawing this kind of parallel line between our fantasy and its psychological implications, what it tells about ourselves, and then the real world potential of who we are and what we want to do, why we enjoy such things. And this is where life outside the earth comes in, the social order we are living in, everything. So, to dive deeper into what I mean by fantasy in this case, perhaps Star Wars or other fantasy films which carry similar psychological pattern all across humanity of good and evil, the good being oftentimes presented as the meek, lowly individuals there are not many of, and the evil. So that's the good, and the evil is presented as the massive empire of organized control. When we kind of enjoy these fantasies, how closely are we reflecting it back to our real world social order and our part in it? In my opinion, there seems to be kind of disconnection between how you identify things in fantasy compared to real world. And this is what allows the real world to continue as it is, because we don't really question our own internal place as individuals. To make this argument even stronger, we can look into and how this can be actually applied to be effective part of the politics and worldview of spiritual technology is by looking the attributes humans embody daily. How much you are actually embodying the hero's journey you see in the series. Not much, probably. And how much you are actually the bad guy. Oftentimes, fantasy, it's a safe place to explore those desires of darkness or see the good. And what if we do that in the real world? What if human collective kind of recognizes that, oh, this reality is as flexible as the fantasy?